Ava Labs president, John Wu. So John, let's talk a little bit just about the setup right now that you're seeing across the market broadly. And we had a discussion here yesterday on Yahoo Finance. Someone was like, hey, it's only been like 5 Fridays from today that we saw that massive dislocation on that October 10th date. We still haven't really, it seems, healed ourselves in the broader crypto space since then. Does it feel that way to you guys?
It's still in the process of healing from the asset class perspective, no doubt. I think what people sure there was a flush, so to speak, on October 10th. But reality is, over the last 6 months, maybe even a year or so, there's just been so many new instruments where people can access the crypto asset class, whether it is ETFs, whether it's these digital asset treasury companies, or even IPOs like Circle, Figure, or Gemini. All of these new securities, it's just a lot of supply into the market. Plus, there's a lot more tokens as well, and there's just not enough demand to absorb all that. And the irony here is all happening when real world use and adoption is happening, from the JP Morgans to the BlackRocks to basically almost any industry you talk about. There's like brands using the blockchain technology to streamline their processes. So it's ironic, just as adoption's happening, the asset class is struggling a bit.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's happening specifically with altcoins. I think on this program, we basically just look at Bitcoin, which we're going to talk about in just a second, maybe a little bit of Ether here and there, but it's mostly Bitcoin as gold, et cetera. In those smaller crypto markets, the layer one protocols, as you and the experts will talk about, and even smaller than that. What has that price action been like, and what's the feedback there between the price action in the token and then how much activity is happening on chain, and just where is that space right now for our audience as you guys see it?
Well, I can speak for Ava Labs, Avalanche. Avalanche is a layer one protocol, and Ava Labs, the team behind Avalanche, has always had the mission of creating real world use cases. And the activity and partners that we're working with to create those use cases is absolutely going higher, while the coin obviously is not doing great. So there's a big disconnect. I can't tell you why that is, but except for the fact on a meta level, there's just too many options now of new tokens, new DATs, new ETFs, for the whole space, and new public companies as well. But I can tell you from my day-to-day, my conversations with brands, with TradFi, meaning Wall Street, they only increase, and the activity we're doing with them is also increasing.
So speaking of that adoption and where it sits within the financial stack, we talked to Michael Saylor yesterday. He expressed his view on where he thinks Bitcoin is going. Let's take a listen.
We're in the digital gold rush, and 2035 is the 0.99 year. That means that 99% of all the Bitcoin will have been mined in the year 2035. If you want Bitcoin, you need to get it between now and then, because the last 1% of Bitcoin comes out over 100 years. There's no doubt in my mind Bitcoin will be a larger asset class than gold by the year 2035.
So John, you mentioned that institutions now are viewing Bitcoin in that kind of context as a portfolio diversifier. Again, thinking down the crypto stack, whether it's with Avalanche or kind of your competitors in there, how does that change, if at all, or like what does that say to you in terms of how you guys approach your business, your development, with that kind of push for, again, an institutional asset like Bitcoin at that level coming?
That's right. I mean, I think everything is different underneath the hood. Bitcoin, as Michael Saylor is saying, it's really the digital gold or store of value. Everything else, whether it's a stable coin, which is a medium of exchange using for payments, or, technologies that things are being built on. For instance, on Avalanche, we've helped the state of Wyoming build their own basically stable coin. We've helped New Jersey tokenize and track land and houses, registry of titles on the Avalanche blockchain. Those are things that are being done that are pushing the technology and the use cases forward. So each one of these altcoins, as you call it, has to be looked at on its own for its own use case or its own product market fit.
So do you think of Avalanche as an altcoin? I guess that's the way I think about it. Anything that's not Bitcoin,
I
is
think
an altcoin. Like, what do you
you've
guys call it?
identified it as, so I'm going with it.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a great one. But there's, the reality is, I think there's just too many altcoins right now. And in the end, it's really going to be a handful, maybe 20, 25 of these that are really useful. Avalanche probably, is going to be one of them. And there's probably too many of these meme coins and things out there that actually don't serve any purpose.
All right, we'll work on the branding to get altcoin more distinctive from the meme coins. I think, I hear you. It's how they kind of get lumped together, but there's a difference between something that's got nothing going on and then a protocol you're actually building on. So we'll pick it up next time. John Wu from Avalabs.